Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to this third try of us filming this episode, Two Girls, One Doc.
Literally, if this was a relationship, I would have said end it, because how many times will one try?
How many times? It's your girl, BD.
It's your girl, Four Ends, the foodie. I don't remember us. Do we do that?
You say it's Four Ends, the foodie.
Do I? That sounds so alien. What the hell is going on today?
We're here,
We're here. We're tired.
We have a credits episode for you.
Yes. I want to apologize because I know I said in the TikTok comments that this episode was going to come out last week, but it's coming out this Sunday, and I'm so sorry. There is a girl, actually, and because I want to do a shout out to two people. Okay. Nice. So one is Adana, Dr. Nicola, because she is another person that continuously keeps me in check. When I see her, she's like, when's the next episode coming about? You guys talked about this and this and this. I can't do her northern accent, but she has a northern accent. Yeah, she's from Leeds.
I love the Northerners. I love them so much.
And yeah, I just want to shout her out for always listening, always supporting. Love that. And then there's this other girl that follows us on TikTok. I don't know if you've seen her. She definitely listens to the pod. Kat or KTD.
Yeah, I've seen her.
Yeah, she comments on my stuff as well.
Shout out her.
Love you, sis. All the time commenting, all the time. This episode, you guys said this. Do you remember this? There was one time she commented and she was like, oh my God, the last time you spoke about this, you were engaged. I was like, oh my gosh, sis, love you for life. So
yeah,
I just want to, and do you know what, guys? Also, you should fuck with us and engage with us, because when you do, we will shout you out. Like, I mean, I don't know if a shout out means much to you. We're not like fucking Beyonce, but hey,
no, it is. It's like, actually, it's so funny when you start seeing like the same acts or like the same people. It's really cute. Like, obviously, we discuss parasocial relationships and stuff like that, and obviously, it's like, you don't know us, we don't know you like that, but it's one thing to support a stranger. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it is.
Even people that like I follow or I pay to see their stuff, it's like, you're a stranger and I just like what you do.
I just like what you do.
Me like you. Like, it's really cute. I think it's a really good like byproduct of social media. I think it's really cute.
Yeah. And none of like the people we engage with have been weird, so that's also a really good positive. Yeah. So we're talking about A Deadly American Marriage, and obviously it's a credit, so we will talk about the documentary, and then we'll give you our thoughts and opinions. I feel like the title gives everything away. Someone dies. Spoiler.
Yeah, I feel like the title was very like, it was a bit lazy. Not lazy, but it was very like early 2000s.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
it was giving like Dateline.
Snapped energy. Yeah. Dateline. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So funny, because I literally know exactly like the different TV shows that would have that like title.
Yeah. A Deadly American Marriage.
And that particular old white guy,
Molly Martins.
So the documentary opens up with a 911 call, and basically the police go to the house of Jason and Molly, and
who are married.
They're a married couple, and they have 2 kids, Jack and Sarah. And Jason has been murdered, but by Molly and her dad, but they are claiming self-defense. They're saying
so this documentary isn't about who done it.
Yeah,
it's about, did they do it or did they have to do it?
Yeah, basically. And they're claiming that he came at them, and so they killed him. And he was like murdered in a very brutal way. Like, he was basically beaten to death. There was a bat involved. There was a brick. Like, it was, I'm sorry, but off the bat of that, like, overkill.
Yeah, like overkill, bro. Like, you run, you defend yourself, you run away. Then no.
And also another thing is like 2 against 1. And another thing as well.
Well, was Molly a whole? Well,
yeah, well, fair enough.
And to be honest, the dad was old, so they're probably together with one person.
Okay, fair enough. But also, because Molly is actually very petite, and Jason is a bigger guy. But I was thinking about my husband. And I was like, I love this man so much. And obviously, I've never experienced domestic violence from him in any shape or form. Or any sort of like abuse from him in any shape or form. But either way, it's like, if I was in, God forbid, that kind of situation, that's your husband. I understand. Like, let me not say I understand, because I've never been in that situation. But like, you're not going to beat him to death. Like, at best, wouldn't you incapacitate him and then cut? Like, you've got your mum, you've got the kids, you've got your dad there. Like, the whole thing of beating him to death, there must have been a point where he literally was already, because the way
he wasn't moving.
Yeah, the way they described it, they were like his head was basically pulverized. So there must have been a point where he wasn't moving.
Sorry, it's trigger warning.
Everything.
Violence, deadliness,
blood,
not
death.
Everything. There was no sexual assault.
Well, yeah, no.
Which is good.
But there must have been a point where he
it was obvious that he's no longer a threat, basically.
Yeah, and you kept going. Like, it's
yeah.
mad. And obviously, like I said, I've never experienced this, so I don't know what how victims would react and things like that. But I'm speaking about this particular scenario where there were multiple people two people in the home against one, regardless of what the strength was. Yeah. There was a point where this man was on the ground and they kept beating him. So either way, after all of this happens, before, like, his family, because this guy's from Ireland, right? And then we learned that the kids, I know, the Irish. We learned that the kids, shout out Kira, even though she wouldn't be listening. We learned that the kids are not actually biologically Molly's.
So the way that they did this was actually really, like, interesting in terms of documentary. So it's presented as like just a normal family, like parents, two kids, one boy,
and the
one
pictures,
girl,
everything, yeah,
and it's kind of like, Molly the mom, and then like all of a sudden it's like, oh, she's a stepmom, and
yeah,
it's like, oh. But then I guess it makes sense for what happens later, because it's like she tries to like portray herself as their actual mom, so it kind of makes sense that like that's how it would have come across. Do you get what I mean? And then it's like, oh, the truth is.
Yeah. And I know that you guys are gagging to hear our opinions on, like, whatever. You're going to have to wait till the end. So, Molly is the stepmom. And Jason was married previously to a woman who passed away from what we're told is an asthma attack in their home. And then he's left with these two kids. He then hires Molly.
And they're young. They're mad young.
Like, they probably don't even remember their mum young. Yeah. Like, mad young.
Yeah.
He then hires Molly to be a nanny. She comes over from America. She's doing like a gap year, and then next thing you know, like, they fall in love, they're getting married, and she basically wants to raise these kids as like, there is no, like, there's no, the mum barely comes up in the even Molly herself does not even acknowledge the fact that she's a stepmom. She sees these kids as, or she wants these kids.
To some extent, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, do you know what I mean? They're your kids. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, you're my stepkids, as if they're less than. Like, obviously, you see them as, you're the kids, but it's the erasure of the mother. Yep. It's like, hello, like, especially because they were so young when they lost their mom. Yep. It's like, don't you kind of want to honor her memory? Like, she's not a threat to you. Do you know what I mean? Don't you kind of want to, like, make sure they know that?
When I compare it to, I was going to say Rio Ferdinand. For sure, that's not his name.
No, the footballer.
Yeah, is it Rio?
Which one? You haven't described the mixed race one. The
mixed race one, yeah. Is it
Rio Ferdinand.
That's married to Kate.
Who's Kate? Kate Ferdinand. Kate Ferdinand sounds right. That sounds about right.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Hopefully,
that sounds right. Let's go with it.
Yeah, we're going to go with it. When I think about them, so basically he was married to someone and she passed away from cancer, and they had kids. Like, and then he married Kate. And they've gone on and had like 2 kids, but she's raised those other kids like they were hers. But she, I mean, obviously I don't live in a house with them, but obviously from what you can see from social media and everything, like, they probably view her as a mother. Yeah, they're a family basically. Like, she became a mother, and she family.
I'm surprised you didn't do it.
She said in an interview that she wasn't even sure she wanted kids. So for her, it was crazy to go from living this single
kids to like
life, and not anything. She was like on Towie, so she was living a life.
Oh, okay.
And then suddenly you're like a mother figure, and like I think she said that through her stepkid, she then realized that she actually wants kids. And she says that they have a room in the house that they moved to that is like their mum's room, like a memory room, and they just go in and this and that. She said that I can never replace their mother, but I want to be a mother figure to them. Like, I want them to have the presence. And bro, like, that is what, for me, I see that as like, yeah, like, she probably has every right to go about and be like, yeah, I can make a decision for these kids. I'm the guardian, I'm the mother, I'm the this, but while still honoring the fact that they have a mother.
Yeah, there's like a
Molly's whole vibe was weird.
Yeah, it was sinister. Very bizarre, because she's a liar. She lied, and obviously, just because you lie doesn't mean you kill. Or it doesn't mean you kill. But people say if you lie, you can steal. If you steal, you can kill.
Yeah. So she's sinister. I find her sinister. So basically, before you can say Jack Robinson, before like Jason's family can even fly over from Ireland and be like, what the hell's going on? What the hell? She and her family have filed for like sole like guardianship.
They're trying to adopt the kids, right?
Which obviously it's crazy because you have actually no biological ties to them, like, and she hadn't biologically adopted them when they were.
Yeah, because Jason didn't let her, because Jason isn't a dickhead.
Yeah. So after this, there's this whole, just to kind of get to the juicy part, obviously there's this whole court case about, you know, it goes to trial, didn't they, and they get convicted. In that time, the kids are separated from Molly, given to,
they go back to Ireland
to live with the parents. And it does actually become this whole like almost international relations thing, because like there's the Irish contingency that have their own view about what happened, and then there's kind of like the American, so different, like
chalk and cheese, like Guinness and Hennessy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how different they are. Alcohol's alcohol, isn't it?
So long story short, Molly and her dad appeal, and then they are given a lesser sentence. Now, the juicy stuff for me is the in-between of watching the kids change. Like, you can tell this documentary shot over a while, because you see them at like a younger age, then you see them at an older age.
Yeah, and like even like the clips, because there's clips of them from when, like, in their interrogations and stuff, where they're children, and it's just like being able to see, because that's a traumatic situation. Like, maybe as kids you didn't really deep it, but like that is
as an adult,
a monumental thing that happens in your life. Yeah, that's like a defining moment in your life, and it's on tape.
Yeah,
for us, you're watching it back the same way I'm watching. It's crazy.
Yeah. But I think what I found really interesting actually was watching the shift in the kids, because obviously they loved Molly, saw her as a mother, didn't want to be separated, called her mum, all of that good stuff. When they moved over to Ireland and they started to be more like around more of like Jason's side of things, their opinion shifted,
and also they got older.
Yeah, they got older, and I think that is fair to say. Whatever caused that shift, I think that's a fair statement to make, that there was a shift in how they felt, especially being around like his family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then also, like, they started to say that they were manipulated, so they actually wanted to recant, because part of the stuff they were saying in their interview was that they had witnessed their dad be abusive to Molly. And
so that was when we say that they were deciding whether they did it or they didn't do it. It was like, okay, were you defending yourself, or did you plan to kill him? Because her whole thing was, like, he used to beat me up, and so obviously I was scared for my life, so whatever. But that first interview with the kids, like, but even like the first time I watched it, when, like, as I was watching it, Jack was talking, because Jack must have been like, what was he, 5? 6?
He was talking like an adult.
Maybe he was like 11 or something. Anyway, he was young.
No, he wasn't 11.
He was single digits. He was anyway. He was young, and like he was talking like an old man. Like, what did he say?
There was terminology he
said
used.
something like physically abused her, emotionally abused her, and I was like, what child
kids
physically?
They don't even understand those concepts. They'll be like, he hit her.
Like he was in a play. Like, I was like, you've been fed this, because I'm not saying you're not smart, because he seemed like a very intelligent child, but it's like, this isn't how children speak.
And also another thing I found quite chilling about that particular whatever, I was like, whatever the truth is, they have been fed some sort of story, because they were so detached when they were speaking. It was very matter of fact. Like, either way, your dad is dead. You must have at least seen the blood in the house, even if you didn't see his physical body. And you guys are talking, like, so you must have been coached and told that, like, he was a terrible person, he was a bad person.
If something happens to him, it will be better for it. Or just little they just seem nuggets. So composed.
Yeah,
they didn't even seem confused. Like,
they seem less composed in their adult years now than when it immediately happened. So,
and I get that, like, sometimes you need time to process things. Like, it's not something happens and you react straight away, sort of thing. But they didn't even seem confused. They just seemed like, okay, right, what's cracking,
for dinner? Literally, what's for dinner? Bizarre. Yeah. So okay, so to look at things from Molly's side of view, Molly says that Jason was very abusive. Molly then had, and this was part of her second trial, she evidently had different recording devices around the house where she was recording arguments.
And the thing is, he was shouting at her, let's not lie. Like, he was shouting at her, he was irritated with her and stuff. But the reason I don't like that, is because if I'm recording our conversation and you don't know that our conversation is being recorded,
I can be out of nature.
That's manipulative, because I know that I'm going to posit myself as the victim or as the aggressed, because I know how it sounds, and I can kind of poke at you and prod at you, and I know I'm getting the reaction that I want, because only one of us knows it's being recorded.
Yep, 100%.
It's not fair. Like, I was like, you even doing that is manipulative. Like, come on.
It's 100% not fair. That was number one. Number two, Molly then says as well that, you know, she's been trying to adopt these kids and it was part of the abuse that he didn't let her adopt the kids. I don't know where I stand on that. I feel like he probably saw some sort of crazy in her and was like...
I think that.
Hell no.
And also, I think that, like, they're his kids. The thing I would give Molly is that, like, she met them when they were babies, yeah? And so even if you are with a kid from, like, they're a baby to they're 5 years old, that's their formative years. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, that can't be, like dismissed.
Washed away,
Exactly. That's a big deal. But again, I think that he was like, nah, this is a crazy bitch. Like, she can't have him like that. He didn't truly trust her. Especially when the kids were like, he wanted to leave her and move to Ireland. So that kind of like supports the point that he was over it. But at the same time, it's like, that could be used as a tool for control. Like, you're not going anywhere because do you know what I mean? And that's what's so annoying about this case. Like, I'm definitely on one side. Like, I definitely believe that they fucking did that shit, yeah? But I still feel like they've tarnished, or they've tried to tarnish his name, because there will always be people who were like, oh, but what if? Or like, maybe he
okay, I think we might as well just say where we are at, because I think then we can discuss it in a...
Yeah, you might as well, yeah.
I feel like I'm more leaning towards something sinister happened in terms of Molly did something sinister. Mm-hmm. But I think that the truth is somewhere actually in between.
So this is what I'm saying. I
feel like Molly could be a diabolical person, but I don't think Jason is like a saint either. I think there might have been slight control and maybe, I don't want to say abuse because it's very harsh, but I think maybe, because even if you listen to the tapes, okay, regardless of the fact that she was recording and she knew that she was, so she probably was positioning herself as very demure. He was having like a fucking go at her, and like there was a point where the kids came down, and the kids came down, and like she's like, no, go upstairs, and he's like, don't tell him, like, do you know what I mean? Like, either way, that to me screams like something.
And also the doctor thing with him being like, like, I lose my temper sometimes.
So
have you watched Breeders?
No.
So I was looking for like a show, them shows that you can just do while you're doing like errands around the house, or while you're like brushing your teeth, or while you're doing whatever. Cool. And I was like, oh, Breeders, cool. Episodes about half an hour. This will be funny. It's not fucking funny, It's just like, it's like a drama, but like, anyway, it's bizarre. But the whole point of that is there's a dad, and the dad is such a shit dad. Like, he's a good dad in terms of, you know, he takes the kids to school and he like provides, and they have a house and he has a job and all that kind of stuff. But he is so volatile. Like, he shouts at his kids, like, he's like, oh, don't you fucking do that, da, 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 da. And it's like, his son now develops anxiety, and it's like, why do you think that your child is anxious like this? Because they don't know whether you're coming or going. They don't know where you're gonna, do you know what I mean? So when I heard that tape of Jason, I was like, it makes sense, because you're shouting like this in front of your children. Your kids are even trying to be like, oh no, dad, it's okay, she just wants dinner, no, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was mad. Obviously, I still stand by the point that it's like, okay, it's kind of manipulative, babe. Like, you know, you knew you were recording and he didn't, but it's still, that's behavior that was still captured.
Exactly.
Because he didn't know that you were recording.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the thing. Like, at the end of the day, I get it. It's manipulative because you can make yourself look better. But at the end of the day, like,
it's the context in which it was used that makes it seem manipulative.
Yeah, but the truth is that he said those things. He did those things. Like, it is what it is. So either way, like, I feel like that's what I mean. Like, the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think but it's in the middle, but it's closer to the side of, she probably was over the situation. And she was probably threatened by the fact that he's going to take these kids from me. And it's like, the only way I can keep these kids if he's no longer here. I basically feel like, I don't think it was a life or death thing for her to kill him that night. I think, like you said, everything you said, I agree with. She's over the situation. She wanted control of the kids, and she was like, you know what, the best way to do it is to off him. If he's gone, then it leaves no one else.
Everything is perfect, actually, because you have the kids, you have the house,
kids, you have the money, you have the life insurance, everything is perfect. So I do, but then I think the catalyst for what made her over it was the fact that he probably was a volatile partner. Like, even in terms of how quickly he remarried, I feel like, you know, did he heal?
But she was pushing the marriage thing, though, no?
Yeah,
like,
she
in the
was.
emails and stuff, she was proper like, nah, like, marry me, sort of. And
I feel like there's context missing that they didn't put in there.
I
need to understand why she was pushing for marriage and why she was so like, what it was with her and these kids, the hyperfixation she had on the kids.
No, she
weird.
lost the kid, remember? Didn't she lose a kid? Didn't she have a miscarriage or something? Did I imagine that?
I feel like now you've said it, I feel like I remember her saying.
I feel like she had a miscarriage or something. She really wanted to be a mum.
I think it was after a miscarriage or a termination, she went to do the nanny job.
She was with someone before. He was a dick, and then because like there's nothing like her loving the kids is not bad. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's the way she loves them. It's weird.
Her taking the kids, like, or taking care of the kids and stuff, it's not bad. But it's just, do you know what it is? It's the way that she lied. Because we're at their wedding, yeah. Jason's sister was talking to the maid of honor.
Yeah.
The maid of honor was about to do a speech. Again, this story, they didn't even complete it because what happened at the speech. Anyway, the maid of honor was going to do a speech, and she was going to say, oh yeah, it's so funny how they met. Like, she was best friends with the kid's mom, and then, you know, the mom passed away, and now she whatever. And then Jason's sister was like, what the heck? Like, that's not what happened.
Yeah, I don't know why she lied like that. It's giving, do you know what it's giving? It's giving Single White Female. I don't know if you guys have watched that movie, but...
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but there's bare references, so
it's giving that. You should really watch it. It's a good movie. It's giving that vibe. Like, I feel like that's probably what it is. But she didn't even
know the other woman, though.
Yeah, but sometimes you just want someone's life. Like, maybe she actually came with with every intention of being a nanny, looked around and was like, wow, this woman has a great life. Yeah, like, and then
she wasn't around when the mum died.
I know, but what I mean is
in terms of what
the
she
memory,
before,
the memory of what she lived, like, and it's just like someone walking into my home if I passed away and being like, oh, like her pictures are here. This is how, like, she has books. This is the thing.
Let me just slip back and
literally. Then she has this husband. I might as well just slip in and be her. Like, I really do think that that's what it was, because I just couldn't understand. Like, she was really young as well. I don't know what the push was to get married. Then it was like these kids, she wanted to swallow them whole and rebirth them or something. It was, even till today, I find it sinister. Like, you're still referring to them as, oh, I will always be their mom. But you know that they hate your guts.
And this is years later, and the last time you saw them was days after you killed their dad. Like, babe, time has passed. And they're with family.
Do you know what was diabolical? It was a constant hounding to be in contact with them. And this is why I say it's diabolical, because if you really love and you care for your kids, I was listening to a podcast this morning about some abusive guy, and this was back in the like 70s or something, or 60s. He divorced his wife, but he didn't tell her, and she had like moved away.
Wait, what?
He was a long story, but she had moved away with the kids because he was terrible, and then he filed for divorce. So the legal side of things, she didn't know about this.
So they were just separated in her mind.
Yeah, and she didn't know about this. Next thing, she gets summoned to court because she's putting all the filings, and he's putting all the filings, and she hasn't responded. It looks like she has no interest in the kids, and he gets awarded sole custody.
But she didn't know.
It doesn't matter. So this was the 60s or the 70s.
Oh, okay.
So after that, she's not able to physically see the kids, but she moves to the city where they live with her new husband.
Okay.
She tries to maintain a positive relationship with the dad
in order to see the kids.
In order to see the kids. One day he says, yeah, you can take the kids for Christmas. The day she shows up, this story is so layered, but basically her new husband is a little person. Mm-hmm. So the day she shows up to take the kids, he sat there with a shotgun. Then he calls this other guy that's like a bodybuilder. The other guy holds down her husband whilst this man beats the shit out of his ex-wife in front of her new husband. Wild, insane. But either way,
sorry, what? Oh, not it happened on your side. This is why I picked this time, because my guy's gone now.
What the helly? I know. But either
That's
way,
insane.
I know. You need to listen to that podcast. It's a whole thing. But anyways, either way, the point of the matter of what I was going to say is, if you really love and care for those kids, your first point of whatever should be like, do you know what? I need to maintain legally these kids are with their biological aunt. Mm-hmm. Like, in terms of their last living relative, this makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I love them. I want a relationship with them. I want to be a mother, and the only way I can do that is by trying to come to some understanding with the family members that are looking after them. Even if you're not going to do that, even if you're not going to do that, the number one thing to not do is going on social media constantly hounding papers, this and that. It was so.
But that's what I'm saying. When I talk about the culture, that's such an American approach.
But is it though? It's a psychotic approach, because there are Americans that don't
I mean,
do
fair.
that.
And Americans aren't all psychotic.
Yeah, it was
It's
weird.
true.
I even by American standards, I thought that was insane. And then she did the
she
whole
did
thing
way
of
too
when
much.
Jack finally called her, she leaked the voice.
Oh, I said, and
that was where she fucked up.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Because he was rocking with her. When she did that, he was like, yeah, okay, bet.
Yeah. Jack, man. Oh, do you know what else I wanted to talk about? So Sarah, the girl,
Yeah.
when her mum died, I think she had gotten up in the middle of she has a baby, had like woken up in the middle of the night, and that's why the mum got up, and then she had an asthma attack, and then she died. When her dad died, she had a nightmare or something, and had like woken up, and it led to whatever happened to the dad. And in the second trial, when they had appealed, the lawyers made it seem like, oh, you know, basically not that it's her fault, but coincidence, everything that's happened with her. Da-da. And she's saying to us, the camera now, like not a grown woman, but like she's grown, grownish. She's just like, like it was crazy that they tried to make it seem as if like it's my fault, like I'm the common denominator between my parents, like of my parents' deaths. And I was just like, that's crazy, man.
That is so crazy. And the amount of trauma those kids are. I'm going to say one thing, whatever side you are on, by the end of this documentary, you'll be crying. I was literally sobbing, because I was like, either way, these kids have both lost their parents. And the thing that's so mad about it is that like one of the deaths was unnecessary as far as I'm concerned. Like it just no death is necessary, but like your mum,
it was avoidable.
Basically it was avoidable. Like also just the whole thing about the mum passing away from asthma attack, basically there was some coroners or pathologists or whatever that said that the what do you call it, the signs in her, the sign or the whatever they saw from the autopsy, there were signs that showed that it wasn't an asthma attack. But I don't know if I believe that, because her sister, who, by the way, if anyone killed my sister, trust and believe I'm not backing them in any shape or form, came out and was like, I literally saw her dying of an asthma attack. I
think that when these situations turn into cases, it's about winning. And it's like who paints the better story, the better picture, who tells the better story. That's what it's about. So to be a man who has a dead wife, a first dead wife, sorry, but you know, it's a tricky act to follow, because then if anything happens to the second wife, now you've got two. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of what Molly was claiming. Like she even said something like I didn't want to be a victim, or I could have been a victim if things were different. And they did say there was evidence to suggest that like Jason had strangled her. There was like a mark on her.
There was a mark, and she had wet herself
and stuff like that. So it's very possible that like there was like an altercation or something or whatever. What I think though was really like weird was Molly's dad that we mentioned. Is a former FBI agent. Okay. And like I just feel like that's an unfair advantage.
But if it was really unfair, he would never have gone to prison, and he went to prison. So how good was he at his job?
He went to prison because what were they going to have done? Oh, sorry, you're exempt from. He had to go. In fact, he was 100% going to go to prison.
No, but they were convicted the first time on first degree murder.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. They went back, and I think it was dropped to a lesser charge.
Involuntary manslaughter or something.
Yeah. So you're not getting convicted if the FBI advantage was there. You're not getting convicted on first degree.
Well, maybe he just wasn't good at his job.
Yeah.
Maybe then he should have.
And also, like, the truth is that they said Molly had some defensive wounds. Yeah, I get it, but they were not visible to the untrained eye.
It also wasn't like for the battle that it looked like had taken place.
Yeah.
It's like for you, like, what were you defending yourself against? If there were no defense, I mean, you really defended yourself so well that no one touched you.
No one touched you.
In which case, were you then defending yourself?
And then even on top of that, they said that there was blood spatter evidence that, like, and this is what I mean about the self-defense thing. Jason had already gotten on like his knees. He was already down and out, and they were still going.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just the two of them that know what happened in that room.
It's actually the three of them.
Yeah.
Oh well, Jason's. Yeah. Well, two alive people, one person's passed away, but I just fundamentally think that, like, for me, what I took away from this is, like, if you're someone who, especially if you've got kids, you have to be so hypersensitive about who you let into your life. Around. That is what I took away from this. And it's like, typical man, you see this younger, hot thing that comes around, she's pressuring you into marrying. Bro, like, have you even...
That's why I'm like, like there's something is missing.
Something's missing.
As a nanny, like great, like his wife had just died. He had 2 young kids and bills to pay.
And Jason, and look, Jason is someone's cup of tea, but he wouldn't have been mine. So what I'm trying to say is that, and I'm not saying he's a bad person, whatever. We didn't get the impression that he was a fucking cash cow. So I don't know what the need. Yeah, well, she could have just had her own kid.
Maybe she couldn't. Maybe that's what's missing. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is an obsession. It's almost as like she tolerated Jason because she wanted the kids.
Yeah.
And like he tolerated her because she was looking after the kids.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, man. It's a sad situation all around because Jason didn't have to die.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. And like in all of this, like my heart goes out to the children because it's like all you did was be born.
Yeah.
And then life was like, sorry.
How can it's weird. Life is weird. How can life be like that? Like there are kids that lost both parents and one of them was like
a newborn.
Unless like it was crazy, I know.
Oh, yeah, it really sucks, man. It really, really sucks. But they're out now, so
out and about,
but if I was Jack and Sarah, I'd be plotting. Get me my own brick.
Literally.
Self-defense.
But I definitely think it's worth a watch, even if it's just to understand what the hell we're talking about. I definitely think it's worth a watch and forming your own opinion.
I think forming your own opinion and getting the information straight from the source. But it was a good documentary. Like Florence said, it does seem like it was shot because they follow the trials, don't they? Like you see them come for the trials and stuff, and it's so sad, man. Sometimes when I'm complaining that I'm having a bad day, I'm just like, these your problems are not really problems, sis.
They're not really problems.
Like,
people have problems.
Wake up. Yeah.
People have real problems.
But they really do. But yeah, man.
We don't know what we're doing next.
You want to say about that?
No. That was everything. I got it all off my chest.
Fantastic. Yeah, we don't know what we'll do next. I guess we'll figure it out.
Surprise!
And then we'll put a trailer at the end.
As you can tell, we're both tired. Yeah. I've had a long day.
Boy, oh boy. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to us. We appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you. Where can the people find you?
2 Girls 1 Doc everywhere. 2 Girls 1 Doc podcast. 2girls1doc@gmail.com. If you have a documentary, if you know someone who's filming a documentary, if you are a documentary, let us know. You can find me on TikTok at bd.mp4 and you can find me on Instagram at bdoneyewear.
And I'm Florence the Foodie everywhere.
All right, till next time.
Bye.
Oh, also, you can comment on Spotify as well now. So if you're listening on Spotify or YouTube, wherever, then you can write us a little comment and say, oh my God, you guys look amazing. Oh my God, what a great episode. Oh my God, I watched that too. This is what I think, you know?
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. Obviously, I'm not scripting it. Do what you want, but you know. But yeah.
All right, bye.
Bye.